Hello, everybody. Welcome back to GameHounds. Sorry, we are late as usual. I don't know why I say sorry. We're late as usual. We're always late. But yeah, we're back. Hold on a second.
We're back. Wait, never mind. Hold on.
Nick, take over. Say hi to everybody. I gotta be right back.
Hello, everybody. How are you? We are back after the 1 week hiatus. 2 weeks from the actual full show, though. Uh, the 2 weeks ago, we had my engagement party, and we were on the road streaming. Uh, I hope that turned out okay. I think I was a pretty good cameraman. I thought I tried to keep things stable for the most part, keep both of us in frame, turn things around a bit, give you a view of where we were driving. And then the last week, we just had things to do. I was in Florida. I forget what Edie was doing. Edie will tell us what she was doing. Um, but Rachel's family, grandparents are having some health issues, so we went to visit them and offer our love and support. And that's what I was doing last weekend. What did you have? I know you had something else too, right?
I had a date.
What?
I had a date.
Oh,
It was all right.
okay.
I'm not going to talk about it because, that's just a bad idea right now. What I was doing last week, though, was no, the week before last was I was spending $2,000 on my dog because I came back from our weekend that we were together in what you call it, Pismo, Arroyo Grande.
Yeah.
And Buddy wasn't eating, and then he continued not to eat and continued not to eat and continued not to eat. And I was like, oh, he's not good.
Oh
So I had
no.
to take him into the vet. We had to do x-rays because all of his symptoms were very indicative. I mean, it was obviously gut, but the symptoms were very similar to that of an obstruction, which can kill a dog, can kill a human.
Hmm.
So I had to do an x-ray to make sure it wasn't a obstruction. And I had to do a bunch of blood work because it also could have been he got into something when he was with the dog sitter that was poisonous, like all it takes is a couple licks of antifreeze left somewhere. And that can kill a dog. And that is kidney failure. And so I had to do a bunch of blood tests to see if it was kidney failure. Blood test came back fine, gut came back fine, and he was not eating. And I thought, okay, I'm going to lose him by like Thursday night. I remember lying down on the floor next to him, and it's like, well,
Oh
it looks like
no.
I'm going to have to deal with one more death because
Oh.
it was not looking good. And then that night, he ate some dog treats. Like I have been giving him, God, I was giving him chicken. We're trying to give him chicken, trying to give him smoked salmon, trying to give him peanut butter. He wouldn't even touch peanut butter. So, I mean, he was really that sick. And then that night he took like a treat. And I'm like, well, how many of these will you take? So I like essentially poured them out in my hand and like, as many as you want, dude, as many as you want. So then he was eating those treats. So I sent him to bed with like in his dog bowl. I put his dog bowl in his kennel with as many treats as he wanted to eat. And I woke up the next morning and he'd eaten all of them and was feeling much better.
Hmm.
And so I took him to work, and he was actually doing really on last Friday, not this last Friday, but the Friday before, doing much better. He's still subdued. You could tell he wasn't great, but he was better. And God, he was farting. Oh my God, he was stink up the place. And then by the next day, he was actually fine, back to his normal self. So he's now fine, but it took $2,000 to figure it out. Hi, AC Wraith.
What do you know what caused it?
He ate something. It's the best I can think. He
Hmm.
ate something along the way that he shouldn't have eaten. But he's currently now lying in the sun with his legs out behind him. Oh, I know why he's lying in the sun, because I took his dog bed with me to work, and it's still in the back seat of my car, in the back of my car.
Oh.
And he's lying where the dog bed was. He's missing his dog bed. So, and other than that, no, last weekend, what I was doing was going on a date, number one, but also getting my hairs done.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you've got the mix.
Yeah, I mean, my hair is just not styled right now, but yes, getting the hair.
Yeah, so is it like in quadrants? Because you've got like the back left, back right are different.
Yeah, it's just kind of under here,
Mm.
and so when you curl it, it actually looks
Oh,
really
I didn't even
cool.
think about
Yeah,
curling.
you can see it's like when it's straight, it actually looks much better. But it is a combination of multiple different colors of pink that is not really showing up on the screen, but you can see that there's like a pink over here. It is a combination of like a bright pink and a subdued pink and a rose pink and then a rose gold, which is almost blonde. And they're all kind of cascaded together, and it looks really cool, especially when it's actually done the way it's supposed to. But yeah, I didn't dress up for you guys. I love you guys, but I'm not dressing up for you. I'll put on a little makeup. I'm not doing my hair. So, what you've been? Oh, we should probably tell about the upshot of The Grudge.
Oh yeah.
Because we didn't talk about The Grudge. We talked about it on the CarCast, but I don't think a lot of people watched
you can talk
CarCast.
about the Grudge. I'm going to replace the battery in my mouse.
Okay. So as you recall, there was The Grudge, which was something that's been going on, gosh, I would imagine close to 10 years. And it happened over Borderlands 2, I believe. And it had to do with one of Nick's friends, Ryan. And I'd been playing with Ryan as well on Xbox for quite some time. And Ryan kind of came into my game and started completing quests. Like my first playthrough, he'd already played through it. He was just forward, because he knew the story. Even though they were side quests, I was kind of, wanting to know what was happening while I was playing my game. And I was like, Ryan, stop lying. Stop fucking completing my quests. This is my game. Stop doing that because I want to see it. And they're like, oh, it's only side quest. Doesn't matter. I'm like, it does because you've seen them. I have not. I would like to know. Like, I don't want to have to play it all over again. I don't want to have to look at somebody and go, I didn't do that quest because I didn't see it. So, yeah, Ryan was he was young. I will give him that. He was very young. He was probably, 18, 19. He was kind of a young dick. And I got so angry that I stopped talking to him. I wouldn't even be, Nick, are you back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wouldn't even be in the same room with him. Like he'd show up and I would very, very respectfully just leave the group. Like I got something to do. I'll talk to you guys later. I wouldn't, it takes a lot to piss me off, but once you've done it, it's over. It's done. You're dead to me. So he has been dead to me, and I have refused to even be in the same chat room with him, much less the same room with him for close to a decade now. And only sometime after I had agreed that I was going to go down to Nick's engagement party did I find out that one of the other guests was Ryan. And if I could have gotten out of it, I would have. But because I was forced to go into it, and if you hadn't asked me to bring games, I would have found something else to do. But I went down and we hung out and
you had a fun time.
We were there. We had a fun time, but it was like the Grudge was still on until Sunday morning because he didn't mention it. And he knew I had a grudge against him. You knew he had a grudge against him. I'm sure you conveyed that at some point that, Edie really isn't okay.
He knew.
He knew. But
it didn't matter because you both got along fine.
Well, we got along fine, but I mean, it wasn't going to change anything. But then on
I
Sunday morning, we
and
were
that's
sitting
fine,
next
and
to
that's
each
good.
other at breakfast
Mhm.
before we left. Ryan turned to me and said, Edie, I've been meaning to say this all weekend. I'm really sorry. I was a young asshole. And I'm like, oh, thank God you said that. That's all you had to say. It's all you had to say. Because that's the reason why I haven't played Helldivers. That's the reason why I didn't play a bunch of games. That's the reason why it's like Nick and I don't play as much. Simply because
I mean,
you're there.
I don't play a whole lot with him either. I just play a lot of single player games.
Right, you
That's
do. But there's like Helldivers. I would love to have gone into Helldivers, but I also knew you were playing Helldivers with Ryan.
like occasionally.
Wouldn't play with Ryan. Holding
Also,
grudges. Yes, it's a source of unimaginable power. It is. It is the one thing that I can have that no one can take from me is a grudge. You can have scammers can take your money, the government can take your house, the government can take your liberty, but the one thing that in the world that no one can take from you is your grudge. So I do them rarely, but I hold them forever until someone, and it's very easy to get rid of them. Just apologize. Just acknowledge that you fucked up. But there's no forgiveness without atonement. So he said, I'm sorry. And I'm like, oh, thank God. It's nice to know that this is over. Because, I mean, it has been kind of, it sucked that I knew that I had to just avoid you because I was so angry at you and that you hadn't apologized. So now we can play Helldivers together. And the grudge, the axe, the proverbial axe has been buried.
Good.
So that's good. That was great. Anytime I can get rid of a grudge is a great thing.
You know, you can get rid of them at any time. That's the thing about a grudge is it's all one-sided, and so you can get rid of it literally whenever you want.
Getting rid of a grudge requires forgiveness. Forgiveness requires atonement.
It doesn't even. It doesn't even. Getting rid of a grudge, like you set the prerequisites. You can change those prerequisites.
What's the point of holding a grudge if you're just going to like let it go? The only time a grudge should let it go, only time you should let go of a grudge is when it is infinitely more destructive to you than it is to them.
I mean, you could also just not take a grudge. I am on the record as saying like it was dumb to begin with. It's dumb that it went on for so long.
No, there are
you know
grudges.
what?
There are grudges that need to be held.
I am glad that the
this one is over.
has been settled.
Right, everything has been settled, and now we can play Helldivers. And guess what we played this weekend or this week?
Yeah, Helldivers.
Except
ironically, not with Ryan.
Not with Ryan.
with another person that we haven't played with in years,
a long time.
Chaos. Creation Chaos. Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew and his friend Davin. And you guys were so sweet.
Yeah, because
to kind of give like you were my Sherpas through this game, because otherwise I would have really been challenged about figuring it out. But you Sherpa'd me through it to explain to me all the different aspects to it, and fuck, is it fun?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, is it fun?
We could play with them because they're on. Oh my God, Jupiter. They're on PC, and we're on PS5, and thankfully it has crossplay, and that crossplay works incredibly well. I
really, really, really wish Baldur's Gate was crossplay. It has to become crossplay soon.
Yeah, it's cross-save, right?
It's reached, huh?
It's cross-save, right? But not cross-play?
I don't even know if it's cross-save.
Oh.
I've never looked at it, but it's definitely not crossplay. They definitely said they want to do crossplay, but the problem is that they haven't yet. And I think that needs to be above patches. That needs to be of like yesterday.
No, I like
needed yesterday.
Give me the patches. Give me the fixes.
That game's it's going to be
the better kissing. Give me
that. No, that game is going to be patched like Skyrim.
Mhm.
It's gonna never be ending if you want to get to the end of the patches before you start adding more features. But yeah, the kissing was great. Don't get me wrong. The kissing was awesome. The improved kissing. That being said, I really would much rather have crossplay at this point. Because there are people I want to play with who want to play with me. They have a Mac. I have a PS5. And in order for us to play, I would have to buy it again for the Mac. And I
Mm.
don't want to do that. I want to play it on, and also I would have to get unused to playing. Like I already am used to playing it on a console. I would
Yeah,
have to essentially relearn the game on PC. And
yeah.
I don't really want to have that.
I don't think that would be too hard because like you've internalized all the systems. You just have to remember like, okay, where on the menu are they?
Right. And I have to get used
Like
to
the interface is
moving
different.
using a keyboard, which
Mm.
I don't really have a great keyboard for that kind of movement. So I probably have to get another keyboard. It,
Keyboards
it's
suck for gaming. I'm out there now. Mouse and
No,
keyboard,
they
it's
don't.
bad. It's
Mice are good
bad.
for gaming.
Mice
Keyboards
are
are
good.
bad. Mice are
Mice are
good.
good.
Keyboards are not great.
Keyboards are awful. Keyboards are input for typing. They are not for gaming.
Key,
Anyone that uses them
keyboards
for
are
gaming is hurting
fantastic.
themselves.
Keyboards are fantastic for casting spells
No,
and
keyboards suck.
complex games. Keyboards are very difficult for movement, which is why I like PCs for grand strategy games. I
Yes,
do not like
they're
them. I
good for
mean,
that.
as
Great for that.
someone who like lost her life to World of Warcraft, that was a long time ago. And
Yeah.
when you're not used to playing with, that movement, it becomes difficult to remember. It's not like getting on a bike. I've had that problem. So, bottom line,
Wait, what? Fighting game players love keyboards? Why? I mean, guess it's 2D, so you're going up, down, left, right, but like some games have like movement with the control stick that you have to execute. You can't really do that on a keyboard. Also, fighting game players are like weird sicko people.
yeah,
I don't
that's
want to
never going to be an issue for me.
I don't want to associate with fighting game people. No, no.
But but
I tease.
I really 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 need Baldur's Gate to become multiplayer because I see that game as a D&D game.
Yeah,
It
yeah, it
is
totally is.
essentially a D&D game that I can play that over and over and over again with different people and get entirely different, not entirely, but significantly different outcomes. And I want to do that with my friends and treat it like a D&D where it's like, okay, we get together 3 hours once a week on Wednesday nights. We're going to play D&D. But I can't because of the crossplay situation. But anyway, we're talking about Helldivers. Helldivers is amazing.
Yes.
Helldivers
Helldivers.
is amazing.
I was just playing it before coming here.
Really? Already?
Mm-hmm.
God, in the morning. Wow. Look at
Getting a
you.
couple games in. Oh, Shepard's gonna fall. Um, yeah, it's really cool. Uh, it is a. What's impressive about it is that it's a game that feels like it puts the player before the monetization, which is
Yes.
not something you can say, unfortunately, about 99% of
Yeah.
multiplayer games now.
Absolutely.
Because they just came out with a new battle pass.
Mm-hmm.
Their battle passes are called war bonds. That's what the Helldivers Mobilize thing is.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a war bond.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it costs $10, which in game comes out to 1,000 super credits. You can earn those super credits by leveling up. You can actually even find some in matches in the game. And so over the course of playing for as long as I have, I've actually amassed 1,000 super credits just by playing and unlocking. So kind of like Fortnite, you can unlock a battle pass by playing the battle pass,
Right.
and it's just a way to like keep you engaged with it, which is nice. It's nice to play a multiplayer game where I'm constantly looking at the upgrade path and going, "Ooh, that looks fun. Ooh, that looks fun. Ooh, that looks fun." Instead of, "No, I don't want to buy that. No, I don't want to buy that. No, I don't want to buy that."
Yep. And I'm finding that the perks that you get, the add-ons, the increased the armor, the new guns, the emotes, all of that and the levels are attainable in just the right amount. It's not super easy, but it's not super hard. And the thing that I was really surprised about is that the in-game credits that you get, you can always, I guess they're like little medals, you can actually trade them in for war bonds, the paid stuff. So if you just want to buy something, you can actually just stop getting the stuff that you would normally in the game and just convert those credits to war bonds and buy something that you would normally have to pay money for, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It actually allows you to have everything that you could possibly want. It just, the money makes it faster. And the stuff that you want doesn't really affect gameplay. It really just affects your character.
Yeah,
Your
the shop is just it's all the cosmetic items. You
right.
can't buy a gun in the shop.
And cosmetic items do increase your enjoyment of a game.
Yeah.
Like there's things that you definitely want.
Oh yeah. When you
And
the
like
like
for
the
example,
hug
the
emote.
finals. I would really love to have that freaking cat, but I'm not
Mm,
buying that freaking cat. There's a couple of different outfits I really think
I
are cool
don't
that I
I
would
don't
love to have, but I'm not paying money for them.
I don't know if the cat is available, which again is like
Paid.
this
It
this
is paid.
this really frustrating live service thing is when we played the finals for the first time, it's a free to play game, and we really enjoyed it. So I felt like, yeah, sure, I will pay $10 to this free to play game just because this is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought some starter pack, which then also came with enough points to buy something else. But it came with the cat. But the thing about the cat is, I don't think it's available to buy anymore
Oh, is it gone?
because it's a free to play FOMO bullshit where, oh, you better buy this pack now because otherwise it's going to disappear.
All right, well, then it's
But
gone.
but in Helldivers, the season passes, the war bonds, they all stick around. They're permanent.
Right.
And so when I got the 1,000 credits to see what to unlock a new battle pass, I was looking at the one that just came out, and then I was looking at the one previously, and I actually thought, you know what? I like the previous one better. I'm going to unlock that one. And so the fact that I could pick and choose which battle pass I want to, buy, it's
Mm-hmm.
like I said, player over monetization, player
Right.
over FOMO.
Sorry. Now, something to consider. There is a distinct difference between the finals and this. The finals is free to play. This is
Yes.
not.
Yes.
You would do have to pay $40?
$40.
$40.
But it's like
So it's
$40. That's
really
not
it's a
bad.
combination, yeah. And they kind of, I think, hit a very nice mid spot. And
Hmm.
this is, I believe, a $60 game easily without monetizations. Instead, they chose to drop they chose to be a $40 game because they could, and then they added these monetizations to it that were gravy. They
Hmm.
weren't the bread and butter. They're the gravy. I should say they weren't the bread. They were the butter. And we will absolutely put butter on that bread. You don't have to like essentially say, okay, you can only get bread and butter, and you have to. You can have the bread for free, but you gotta buy the butter. It's like, yeah, let me make a choice about that. You can earn the butter very slowly, but it's just a way smarter way. What it is a certain level of confidence in the game that it will do well. So I'm figuring that the success of Helldivers with this monetization scheme of make us pay for the game and then add the horse armor, but also make the horse armor available if you grind the shit out of it, is going to be the next thing that you're going to see just overtaking the entire industry. Because I didn't know you had to pay for it.
Pay for Helldivers?
Yeah, I didn't know you had to pay for it because I was complaining. I was saying that I'm concerned because now they've done live action well, that it's going to make,
Yeah, the live service.
yes, live service, sorry, live service done well. is that now it is going to keep the idea of live service alive. And I think I was like just at the moment where the industry was starting to understand that live service doesn't work.
Yeah, except this
And now there
isn't.
was like, oh, damn it. Now drag them back in. Now it's going to take us another like 6 or 8 years of shitty games to explain to them that no, we don't like live service. This is
Except,
not live service.
yeah,
This is
not
a
not in that
live
same
service
way.
aspect to a game,
Yeah,
a
well, what
device
this what this is just a multiplayer game from a decade ago.
game. Exactly.
That's all it
Exactly.
is. And
Exactly.
it's
This is
like
what they used to do. This
and
is
it's
horse
like,
armor.
"Oh my god, I've missed this."
Hmm.
This is like Battlefield Bad Company 2 era multiplayer.
Right.
And it's like that is a good era of multiplayer because you come out with expansions and people like it. They'll buy the expansions, they'll keep going. It's okay to monetize a multiplayer game, but it's the live service aspects, those like daily things that like the FOMO, the hey, you better buy this pack now because otherwise it's going to disappear and who knows when it'll come back.
Yeah, it's the
Like it's
manipulation. It's
yeah,
the
it's
emotional
all that
manipulation
stuff.
of the consumers rather than just, hey, we made a really good game, and if you like it, here's the way to buy
Yeah.
more.
Instead of just giving you things to buy, it's giving you things to buy and then putting a timer on it, hoping that they can manipulate you into buying more.
Right. It's this is a way of doing, I mean, I hate calling it live service, but the live service style of game in a way that doesn't insult us.
Yeah.
Make a good game, give us more things to buy if we want. It's not that hard.
And so yeah,
So,
we
so yeah,
all the
and
stuff that
this
we
game, oh
played.
my God, is this game getting popular? I mean,
Yeah.
it got popular. Oh my God. Have
Yeah, and
you
it's
seen
remaining
on
popular
Reddit,
too.
on Helldivers Reddit, that people are taking the role playing seriously? And some people are actually role playing as bug spies
Mhm. There was a really
in the
good
Reddit.
interaction on Twitter. Um I guess what the developer is doing, which is kind of fun, is they start adding new content to the game without making it official, without telling anyone, like
And they refuse to
slowly.
acknowledge it.
So like they added bugs that can fly. So on higher difficulties, you would encounter flying bugs, but that's not in any patch note. And so when people start talking about it on Twitter, um, the like I think it was the CEO of the developer came out and said like, no, there's no such thing as flying bugs. That's just bug propaganda. Don't believe it.
Right. And then that touched off all of these people starting to cosplay as bugs. Role
Hmm.
play. I should not cosplay, but role play
Bug
as bugs.
propaganda.
Right. With about bug propaganda. Yeah. Yeah. And I love the fact that they are in on the joke and they get
Hmm.
it.
Hey, Jupiter.
So yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely
Yeah,
enjoying this,
and you
and
just
I
played the
can't wait to play it
bugs.
again.
You just played the bugs. You haven't done any of the automaton that we're
Yeah, I haven't done
watching
the
now.
automatons yet.
The robots, which
Yeah.
are their own special kind of difficulty.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they
We're
shoot.
watching somebody that's doing a very high level automaton, and it's like, am I ever gonna get that good?
Because yeah, they shoot back. I mean, look, you do it on easy, and it fits. Like that's the beauty of it is for all the chaos of the game, there are so many difficulty levels that you can find one that's like right at that perfect level.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely am digging the game, and I'm super happy. And I still, I mean, it made me not play. I literally am in the last part of Baldur's Gate 3, and I've been there
Jeez.
for a month, and I still haven't entered into it. And I tried to live stream it, and I realized, okay, it said if you go past here, you can't go back to camp.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
at
shit.
that
You're at
stage.
that stage. You're
I'm
at the point of no
the
return
point of no
stage.
return, and it's like, oh crap, I gotta go like make some more potions, and I gotta make sure that my inventories, I'm bringing this stuff, and everybody's kitted out. I want to gear up, and of course I
Yeah,
went there, and then my neighbor called, and so I had to like end the stream. But I'm still at that point of, are you sure you want to enter?
you're at the moment when the game is like, "Hey, we're almost over,"
This is
and you're thinking,
this isn't just
"No,
the
no,
last chapter.
that's
This is the last like few pages of the game.
Are you looking around going, okay, is there anything else I can do? Any side quests?
No,
Anything? I
I've
don't
already
want
done.
to end the
I
game.
did that. I did all the. Are there any other side quests?
Oh,
I've already gone past that point. Now it's I just have to go back and make sure everybody. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I want to make sure that every single person in my all like not just in my team but my camp is all geared properly. And of course, I have just stacks and stacks. I've never sold any gear. So I have just little crates full of like 80, 90 pieces of just like, because I have multiple crates. And like there's one crate that's like weapons, one crate that is armor and heads, one crate that is boots and gloves, the one helmet, one crate that is just rings and necklaces. And so I'm having to go through every single one. And of course, you can't pull out all three of those, four of those crates, right? Because if you do, then you're overloaded. So you can only pull out one crate at a time per character. And in order to pull out a crate and gear that person up, that character has to be in your team. So I have to go make somebody leave the team, bring somebody into the team, have them go to the crate, open up one of the crates,
okay. They at least
one, put it back, then open up the second crate, put it back. So it's gonna be several hours of
they've at
me.
least changed that in a patch that you no longer need someone in your team to add equipment to them.
So
If you
when
go
did that patch happen? Because that was happening on
like a month
Thursday.
ago.
Nope.
No, if you go to camp and you open the menu, you can see all the people
Yes.
in your camp,
Yes.
and you can add equipment to them and take it off of them.
Yes, but it not if not no that won't work if the stuff is in the crate in your okay. So if you
Yeah,
have
if you have a
if
crate,
you have your
yes,
crate
you
full
can't
of
go
like
from the
weapons.
crate to someone outside your party.
Right.
See, the problem here is that you just have too much stuff. You just got to sell it all.
You are telling me that?
Yeah, sell it. Sell everything.
You have the audacity to tell me that? Mister,
I
I
sell.
hold everything?
Look, the things I hold are grenades and rocket launchers in Resident Evil games. When it comes to like
That is
equipment
so
in
not
Baldur's
true.
Gate,
You are the worst. You are the worst
no.
hoarder I have ever played with, and worse than me. I'm the one that's constantly telling you, Nick, just sell it.
Okay, you pick up like plates and stuff.
Oh no, I sell all those. No, it's like the equipment I hoard and the books. Oh God, I have to get rid of all the books.
Okay,
But
yeah,
then
I don't
again,
pick up books. I
books are
was
good
picking up
money. Books are very
picking
good
up
money.
books. See, I don't want to sell the books. I want to keep the books. I want a library.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've got going, and that's a problem. I really
then
should make a crate that is just nothing but books.
And I realized there's no point in doing this, and so I stopped.
Okay, good. Well, I mean, the books are good to sell.
I don't
Books
wanna
are
sell
very,
books.
very good to sell.
No, you don't sell books.
Books are the one of the things that have the least amount of weight and the highest sell value based on their weight.
No, I'm just saying.
Books make money.
You keep books for your library.
I don't keep them. I pick them up and sell them. But then again, there's sometimes books that I'm not quite sure if I should need to sell or keep. It says the woman who lost a book, who lost a really important book.
I want to read the books. That's what I want to do.
That's true. I've read all the books.
Except like some of the books can be pretty long.
They are.
They're like Skyrim
and I've read
books.
them all. Anyways,
Helldivers is awesome.
Helldivers is awesome. And Baldur's Gate, I swear to God, I'm going to finish it one of these days. But it is also the last month of tax season, so.
I feel like right now I'm playing Helldivers. I started playing another game too that I'll talk about shortly. At the end of this month, Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out. Then it's kind of like there's not a whole lot for the rest of the year. I think that will be when I get back into Baldur's Gate.
Okay. AC Ray said something I did not know. WB is focused on live service now. They delisted their other games.
We can get into that in news. They own Adult Swim. They've been delisting Adult Swim games.
Really?
And they after 2023, in which Hogwarts Legacy, a single player game, was the highest selling game of the year. Warner Brothers had the top game of the year and the top movie of the year. And come January 2024, with the absolute failure of Suicide Squad, they came out and said, you know what? Suicide Squad just didn't work. We're going to do that again.
We're going to double down.
Yeah, they literally doubled down.
It's, what did they say, the definition of
Insanity?
insanity? Yeah.
We can get into Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers is very frustrating, because it's like a tale of two companies.
Yeah.
We'll
talk about that.
Yeah. But the other game
the prequel, Helldivers Dive Harder Edition, is 84% off on Steam right now.
Oh, okay. Jaeger in Discord was talking about Helldivers and saying, like, I was a Helldiver back in 2015. When
you young whippersnappers.
And I remember we were all playing with him, because I think it was like a free-to-play game, or it was like $5 or $10 or something. Because do you remember there was an achievement for spinning around in circles 5 times, like with your cape? If you spun around in circles with your cape.
That was that game?
That was Helldivers.
I remember that game.
Yes.
Oh my god.
That was the first Helldivers.
I feel so OG that to find out that I did play Helldivers.
It's so funny. Like, go back and watch a video of Helldivers 1, and it's like the same game, but isometric, like from a top-down point of view. It's like a dual joystick shooter, but it's still got the stratagems. It's still got the bugs. It's still got the automatons. Like, Helldivers 2 really is just Helldivers with a like proper budget.
There it
is.
Look
at this. This is. It's like looking into a weird time capsule.
It is, isn't it?
Oh, can you like skip ahead to an actual? Yeah.
Oh, this is the
oh, that's the tutorial.
The tutorial looks like. Okay, let's see if I can find another one that's not the tutorial.
Yeah, it's so funny to see that, like, that mechanics wise, they struck gold like from the beginning. Like, not much has changed from Helldivers to Helldivers 2.
Right.
Other than
it became
it became over the shoulder and all the stuff that comes with that. So, aiming and the reticle and the kind of mechanics of
oh my god, I totally remember this now.
Uh-huh.
I totally remember this, because wasn't this a stick shooter? No.
Yeah.
It was a stick shooter.
Yeah, a stick shooter. Yeah.
I remember this now. I absolutely. Oh God, yeah. Thanks, Jaeger, for reminding me.
I gotta say thank you for like bringing that little weird piece of nostalgia back.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, look, they've even got the robots with the big old shield.
Yeah. All right, so that was Helldivers, and yes, I guess we played it. But I remember it being a stick shooter and thinking, I really don't like stick shooters much.
Neither did I. I didn't enjoy it that much, but I have a very weird permanent memory of trying to spin around 5 times to get the achievement. That is like imprinted on my brain.
That's funny. Can you use a sword in Helldivers 2? No,
you can melee, but there's no like melee weapon.
Right. Which I think would be fun, but
yeah, honestly, they could add something like that in later.
They might.
For sure.
They might. All right. So, anything else? Any other games you played?
Yes, the other game I've been playing is Lords of the Fallen.
Okay.
Which it's a Souls-like game. It was the big Souls-like game last year. It came from Lords of the Fallen came out like 5 years ago. It was one of the first Souls-like game after Dark Souls hit big. And this is excuse me. It's not really a remake of that game. It's more of just like a reimagining. It's like the developer made the original Lords of the Fallen, then had success with other games, and then decided, okay, you know what? let's go back to Lords of the Fallen and do it like we wanted to the first time.
Let's do it right. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Um, and it's a really good Souls like.
Be right back.
I remember when it first came out, there were a lot of the main complaint about it was that it relied too heavily on hordes of enemies. And I can see where that comes from, but they have since patched it out to make that less of an issue, which is nice, but also kind of frustrating in that it really shows, hey, it's okay to wait a month to play a game. Like if a game comes out and you play it within the first month, you're kind of playing the beta version of it almost. Like, and that's a little annoying. But the experience of Lords of the Fallen now is pretty good. So the way the game works is there's like a whole dark fantasy world. Hey, there's a kingdom. We imprisoned this evil god, but now the evil god is starting to come back, and I have to ring 5 bells to like re up the prison to keep the evil god out. But the core big thing that the game has is the umbral world. So there's like a dual world system. You have the regular world, and then you have the umbral world, which is kind of like a dark, twisted, scary, spooky version of the world. And you have this lamp. And when you hold the lamp out, you see the umbral world. So if you're walking around in the regular world and you hold the lamp out, all of a sudden the stuff around you changes to show you the umbral world. And it's a really cool effect because what that means is if you come up to a cliff edge and you're like, okay, where am I supposed to go? And then you hold the lamp up, you'll see in the umbral world, oh, there's a bridge ahead of me. And you can walk across that bridge, then put the lamp away, and the bridge will disappear. And you can fall down, or you can just cross to the other side. If you are in the real world and you die, you respawn in the umbral world. And so that gives you this Sekiro like extra death or extra life. So, hey, if you're fighting a boss and you die, it's not too bad because you get a second chance in the umbral world. It's what's funny is this game is like a mix of so many different systems from other Souls-like games. So it's got the Sekiro extra life system. When you're in the umbral world, when you first make that transition, your health gets withered. And what that means is your health bar kind of one half of it gets the dim. And if you get hit once, all that health disappears.
Oh,
But
wow.
if you hit an enemy, that health starts to come back, which is a system in Bloodborne, where in Bloodborne, if you got hit, but then you hit an enemy quickly in quick succession, you would get some of that health back. And so in that way, that game encouraged you to be really aggressive in combat, to not be conservative, because every time you got hit, if you returned that, you would lose less health. This game has a very similar mechanic in the Umbral world, but in the regular world, it's like a Dark Souls. So it's like Dark Souls, Sekiro in one world, like Bloodborne in the other world, and you're constantly jumping between them. And so in that way, it's like it wants to be the Souls-like game. Like, hey, this is a Souls-like game that combines the systems and mechanics of every other Souls-like game. So there's a lot going on. But at the core of it, it's just a really interesting world. It's a really fucked up world. Like this is like one of the most gothic worlds you've ever seen in a Souls-like game, and it's really spooky and scary. So much so that like as I'm exploring, I want to walk. The sound is particularly good. One of the reasons that I upgraded my TV and got a sound bar was because of this game. And it turns out that it was a good decision because the sound is so evocative. You'll walk into some place and just hear like something slimy, like some weird slime thing falling down a wall, and you just know, God, there is some horrible thing around the corner. I don't want to see what it is, but I have to. And it's a constantly unnerving experience, which I'm particularly enjoying. Um, But one of the challenges that it comes from is switching between the real world and the Umbral world is part of exploration as well as just combat. But when you're in the Umbral world, you will constantly see like these ghostly figures in the world. And these figures are just like really thin humanoid creatures. And sometimes when you walk up to them, they'll just disappear. Other times when you walk up to them, they will manifest physically into the world and start to attack you. The longer you're in the Umbral world, the more likely that is to happen. So when you first enter the Umbral world, you're running around and you're running past all these ghostly figures and they're just kind of disappearing. But if you stay in there for like 5-10 minutes, then you start running past them and they start becoming more and more. They start manifesting more and more. And so that is where the horde issue comes in. Because when this game first came out, one of the big complaints about it was that it really relied on God, that's a fucked up creature. It reset like a little bit.
Oh,
Just
go back.
a giant walking face. But you could see in that scene, he held up the camera,
Yeah, I
he
screwed
held
it up.
up the lamp, and he saw that enemy through there. And then he put the lamp down, and the enemy disappeared because he was looking at another world.
Yeah.
It's a really cool effect. I
I should have just gone back this way, but I didn't.
Yeah. But anyways, so what was I saying before? Yeah. One of the issue that the game had when it first came out is that it relied too much on hordes of enemies for difficulty. And I get the sense of that. I can see how that's an issue. It has since been patched to make that less of an issue. Okay, you just keep playing. I'm like getting, it's like having a stroke.
Sorry.
um
Mia, you're not going out. We've already been out twice.
So yeah, what that means is whenever you're in the Umbral world, all of a sudden you're on this timer, and you know the game is getting harder every second that passes by, and that again just adds like this level of stress to the game. In addition to like all the spooky sound effects, all the just general difficulty, which is neat. It's neat to play one of these games that kind of finds a new way to get under your skin, and kind of adding a timer to this exploration it's a cool mechanic. I really like how they did it. And other than that, it feels good to play. I remember playing the original Lords of the Fallen for like 30 minutes and going, it's okay. So kudos to the developer for like truly
Going back and making it much better. Yeah.
And like
not enough games do that. There are a lot of games that are almost there, but not quite. And if only they would just go back and make a couple of tweaks.
And it's impressive to like see how far they've come as a developer of Souls-like games, because they made a bunch of these at this point. And yeah, it's like I forget the name of it. I think that's Deck 13 is the developer. I want to make sure about that.
Yes, the puppy.
Developed by Hexworks. Okay. Hexworks. But yeah, they are kudos to Hexwork for like Deck 13 was the developer.
Well, who's Hexworks then?
Yeah, who is Hexworks?
Just making stuff up again. Typical.
Who's by Games? Oh, okay. No, so Hexworks is not Deck 13. So in May 2015, the publisher, CI Games, announced that there would be a sequel, but that Deck 13 would not be involved. No, wait.
Here you go. Here's that horrible, terrible, terrifying thing.
Oh, yeah. Look at that giant face. See, and I'm impressed that someone other than FromSoft was able to come up with an enemy design that looks really unique and really fucked up.
Oh God, it opens up too.
Oh, the
back of it opens up.
That is horrible.
And it's a person inside of the face.
It's like a mech face.
Oh man, that's fucked up. Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. All kinds of bad.
Okay. So wait, I'm getting this from Wikipedia. They announced blah 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 that Deck 13 will not be involved. In 2017, they revealed the game spent 2 years on the concept stage, and that the publisher significantly downsized the development team and reduced the scope of the game following a disappointing release of Sniper Ghost Warrior 3. Games announced that Defiant Studios in 2018 development changed to Defiant Studios and restarted the game from scratch. However, CI
Wow.
Games terminated its contract with Defiant 1 year later as
Oh
it
my
deemed the
god.
work on the game inadequate. CI Games, the publisher, then founded Hexworks in 2020, led by the original creative team on Lords of the Fallen.
Oh wow. So they
So
essentially
they
made
gave it to someone
it
else.
sucked, and then
Yeah,
they
it made
went
it
back and got the
sucked.
dream team.
Yeah.
Started their own studio and went back and get the dream team.
Okay, I didn't realize that it had such an insanely crazy development.
That development, it should not
Hmm.
be that good based on what that development history. That game
Yeah,
should be awful.
I'm really surprised. But I'm happy to say it is a very good Souls-like game. I'm enjoying playing it, and I want to play more of it. It's got a world that I want to see more of. It's got combat that I want to get better at, and yeah, like that's the best thing you can say about it. It's not reinventing anything, but it's a good combination. I feel like in terms of Souls-like games, whenever FromSoft comes out with the game, they always come out with some new twist to it, and then everyone tries to copy that twist.
Right.
This is like, let's copy all of those twists, and does a pretty good job incorporating all
Yeah,
of them.
it's for Frankenstein Monster. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Frankenstein Monster mechanics.
Mhm.
All right, cool.
I mean, I'm sure
I'm
there's
never gonna play it.
no, but I'm sure there's also a Frankenstein monster in there somewhere. I wouldn't put it past it.
Dog, you don't believe blowing on the desk.
He's pulling a Jupiter.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
pulling a shepherd.
She's just pulling a shepherd at this point. Don't step on the keyboard. Dog. Don't step on the keyboard. Excuse me, ma'am. Want to get down? Is that what you want? Okay. Then will you stop hitting the potty bell? All right.
AC Ray says Buddy is the new shepherd.
This is not Buddy. This is Mia.
Okay, me is the new shepherd.
That's Mia. Oh, Mia the Wonder Dog. Oh, look at that face. That's Mia the Wonder Dog. She's the troublemaker. Buddy is passed out in the sun right now because he knows. He knows what's good. Mia was like, I just went out a couple minutes ago. I want to go again. I want to go again. Nope. Now she's ended up on the table and she doesn't know what to do. She knows she's in trouble because she's along on tables. All right, let's go down. Oh.
Can she jump off, or is she too old?
No, she's too little for that. I mean, the table's like 4 times her height. She could jump off, but she doesn't want to. Nah. Really? You went back to hit the potty bell, Mia. Come over here. No potty bell. Go lie down. Go lie down. She literally just jumped off and hit the potty bell again. I took her potty because she hit the potty bell.
Did she hit it again? I heard something that felt like silverware in the kitchen. Do you want to take her out again?
No.
Just to make sure?
No. You're a lying little bitch. Mia?
Look, sometimes
Mia,
you go to the bathroom and you do a number 1, and then you leave, and then you realize, oh, you know what? I also
she did a number 1 and a number 2. No, she. Okay. No, this dog poops all the time, like to the point where the dogs.
I heard that. She just wants your attention.
All right, I'm gonna take her out.
Okay.
As soon as I said that, Buddy jumps up. He's like, "Oop, out! I know what that means." All right, I will be right back. What do you want? Do you have anything else to talk about?
Yes, I have another game that I can talk about.
Good, you do that. What game is it?
I need to put it
Really,
in
you
the.
made it Lores of the Fallen?
Oops, my bad.
Anyway, what's else? What's the other one? Inside Job?
No, SLA Slay Away Camp 2. I just
Did you hear
brought it
her?
up.
She's just pounding on it. She's playing the drums on the potty bells.
Yes, anyways. Slay Away Camp 2. It's a Netflix exclusive game for mobile. The Slay Away Camp 1 came out on like pretty much every console. It came out on phones, tablets. Played it on Switch. It was a good Switch game. It came out everywhere. And it was kind of your basic block sliding game, but with a serial killer twist to it. You were basically playing as Jason, and you needed to slide around a screen, killing campers. Slay Away Camp 2. Let's see if I can get a video of this up. Do. Don't mind me. Let's present, share. There we go. So yeah, you're playing as a little mini Jason, and you're sliding around a screen trying to figure out how to manipulate the campers in a way that you can kill them. Because if you get up next to a camper, then they go running in the opposite direction. And if they run off the screen, they escape. But if they run and there's a tree or a bush in the way, they're stuck. And so that's the puzzle: is how do you get through the level and kill all the campers? And the game actually does a pretty good job of like adding constant twists to that. There are bushes, like the tall grass that you can cut. If someone runs into it, it will block them, but you can cut it down to get through it, and that kind of gives you different paths through the level. Uh, you can take a tree to scare them to make them run away if they're next to it. There are different in later levels. There are crates that you can use to hide behind to sneak up to them. Some of them even take place in the winter, where you slide instead of going one square at a time. You slide all the way because it's like you're on ice. And yeah, it's a very good one of those games because this is a Netflix exclusive. The UI is all very Netflix, as you can see in here. It's like each set of levels is like a Netflix recommendation row, and then you unlock the next recommendation row, and that's another set of levels, and then next recommendation row, that's a set of levels. It even did like a weird meta thing where in the beginning people summoned the Jason wannabe, but then they unsummoned him and he got stuck in a phone. And so now you're basically, whenever you go to the UI screen to unlock a new level, it's like he's in your phone, like knocking on the screen trying to get out. It's a good game. Excuse me. The tone of it though is a little weird. Like it wants to be this ultra violent game, and it kind of is, but it's so cartoony and so unserious that I'm not entirely sure how to take it. The things that it does is it's like every time you beat a level, he does this huge gory kill of a camper, and then does like this, ah, and you'll see it coming up. Like, did I do that? And it's just like a weird, goofy tone that doesn't necessarily fit. Like, it wants to be a satire. It wants to be a parody of these type of games. But I don't know if that tone fits really well. Thankfully, it's just a really, really good puzzle game on top of everything else. And so even if I think tonally it's a little weird and nonsensical, it's still a really great game to play on the phone. I'm having a ton of fun just, hey, on the couch, hanging out, pick up the game, play a level or two, and and that's it. The game also does a good job because, like with campfires, if someone runs into a campfire, that will trigger someone else next to it to run. And so you can get into these really good combos of I'm going to scare one person into a campfire, who then is going to scare someone else into a campfire, and then you're going to scare someone else into a campfire. And it leads to these satisfying moments where, hey, you scare one person and then you beat the level. And it's, yeah, good puzzle game. I think it would be nice if it came out on other platforms, but since it's a Netflix exclusive, I assume it will probably only be mobile and tablet, probably. But yeah, Sleightway Camp 2, a good, surprisingly good game.
You hear it screaming. No!
Ah!
Duh! All right, so.
Okay.
So, you will get a kick out of this. So, I let Mia out into the front yard. Normally, she goes on a leash, but it's like, you know what? I don't have time for that. I'm just going to open up the door. She's going to go to the front yard. She's going to go to her potty spot and potty. She went over to the potty spot and looked at me. I'm like, okay, well, we'll take you to the second potty spot. So I took her around the side of the house, which is on the driveway. It's around her secondary spot. Went there. She had a little piddle. Like, cool. So I'm like, okay, let's get back inside. Now, she always gets back inside as soon as I say that. She put her head down, and rather than run, because that dog runs everywhere, she walked. She stood in front. It stood in the backseat passenger door of my car.
She went up to the car and waited.
She knows my car. And she was saying, I want to go to the park.
Oh.
That dog is so fucking smart. She is so fucking smart. She just wandered over and she like sat down in front of the passenger door, which is where she, the back seat where she goes. Just sat there and looked up at me. I like looked at the door, looked up at me, looked at the door, looked up at me. It's like, yeah, no, we're not going to the park.
I'm impressed that she knew the steps to get to the park, and she wants to get you.
Oh, this is why you don't get a smart dog. This is why you get a dumb dog, Buddy. Where is he, Buddy?
Is that Buddy behind you?
That's Buddy behind me. Yeah, I gave him a greenie. He just his whole life is just pet me and give me a treat. That's his whole life.
That's the cats. That's why I like the cats.
Yeah.
But also, AC Ray said that Sleightway Camp 2 is coming to Steam.
Oh, good.
They're making a big deal about coming to Steam, which that might actually be Netflix's first Steam game.
No, really?
I know they've taken games that have come out on Steam, and Netflix then publishes them on mobile,
like Exploding Kittens.
Yeah, like Exploding Kittens, Into the Breach, other games.
I have a couple other games that I downloaded on Netflix.
But I think this might be the first game that comes out
for Netflix.
Yeah, that they have published, like they've paid for it to get made, and it comes to Steam.
It's kind of
instead of them just buying something that already exists, they paid for it to get made.
That is kind of impressive.
Interesting.
All right, so assuming that I don't get summoned by my dog again, would you like to do the news?
Yeah.
All right, then let's hit the news. This is gaming with Weeeereeee and Nikki Nicola, and our first item is.
We can get into the Warner Brothers issues that we teased earlier.
Sure. I didn't. Oh fuck! I didn't do my. I didn't do any banners. Oops.
Okay. Let's wait for the music.
Oh, you need to go over the top of it.
Yeah. So yeah, Warner Brothers. They are now delisting games.
Oops, sorry.
Oh my god.
This is why I hate the fact that it just automatically goes to like loop. It just every time you load it up, it's loop. It should not automatically just loop. Anyway, sorry.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, Warner Brothers. They are delisting Adult Swim games. Oh my god.
Sorry,
Okay, let's just move on. No, let's not talk about it.
I had to do it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I promise. No more. All right. So Warner Brothers.
Yeah, they are delisting.
Yeah.
Adult Swim.
You do not trust me. Why don't you trust me? I am the most trustworthy person you know. When have I ever lied to you?
This has nothing to do with lying. This has to do with trolling.
I really don't troll you that much.
No.
I'm not a troll-like person. I really don't like trolls, and I don't like to be trolled, so I try not to do it to other people.
Okay. Then I'll do the news story.
Okay.
Warner Brothers is delisting games from Adult Swim games from Steam.
Right.
And what's particularly frustrating about this is that developers have come out and said, like, hey, if you just because Warner Brothers' excuse is it costs money to keep those pages up.
Right.
The developers have said,
they do have to pay for servers, but I mean, but
the developers have said you can give that page to us. You can offset that responsibility to us. It's literally 3 clicks. Like Steam has a walkthrough of how to do it, and it says the longest thing about this is communication between them. The emails you send to each other is where the time comes from. But it's like 3 clicks. And Warner Brothers reps have basically said, no. Like, we hear you, and we would like to do that, but we decided not to do that, so we can't do that. So it's just going to disappear from Steam. One of the developers, I think, has gotten they somehow got enough of permission to relist the game, but they have to remove every mention of Adult Swim from it. That includes removing it from the opening credits, removing anything about it in the UI, and removing anyone associated with Adult Swim from the credits. And the existing page will be deleted. They have to create a new game page, which means all their user reviews, all the data associated with that game will be reset because they're basically creating a new game on Steam by relisting it without Adult Swim. And it's frustrating because it's like, this is pennies, right? To a company like Warner Brothers, this is pennies to keep this stuff up. And not only that, but they could offset it to someone else, but they're actively deciding not to.
Yeah, it's not that they don't want to. Yeah, the whole thing about like, oh, it costs us too much. That's not the reason. The reason is that they don't want any other games up but their live action games. That is a tech bro move. That live action is failing. So clearly, what we need to
live service.
Live service. Live service is failing. So clearly, what we need to do is we need to get rid of all games but live service. They just won't admit they're wrong.
It's not just about.
Will still keep buying the NFTs. This tech bros will still keep buying Bitcoin, even though we know there's no reason for it.
Yeah, it's a policy that is actively hostile to creatives.
Yes.
It feels like this, and with the movie division, like they are actively punishing people that work with them. And I think what makes this particularly frustrating is also the fact that, like, Warner Brothers movies are kind of hitting it out of the park lately. Like, they're kind of doing great. Barbie was the biggest movie of last year. Dune was just like a huge success that might even spawn a third movie.
Yeah, have you seen Dune 2?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So good.
Yeah.
So, granted, very fast moving. Do not go to the bathroom at any point in that movie because absolutely every minute is filled with content. There is no downtime. There is no like, slack moment for pacing. Nope, it is 100%.
I heard it. I heard it. She really wants to go to the park.
It is 100% pacing. I mean,
Mhm.
100% content. So go to the bathroom, don't buy a soda, and watch the movie because you cannot get up because you'll miss something.
Yeah. But what I've also heard on like all the movie podcasts that I listen to is that Warner Brothers is like working really hard to actively court A-list talent, like
Hmm.
making movie with Tom
Hold on
Cruise,
a second. Your
Ghost in
your
Space.
your audio keeps on going in and out and gets muffled. There we go. That is weird. Okay, go
Test
ahead.
test.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's like you sound like you'll be talking a couple of words and then it sounds like you're underwater, and then
Hmm.
talking a couple of words underwater. Weird. Okay, anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, they're actively courting A-list talent like Tom Cruise, Margot Robbie. The director of Parasite, they're making his next movie that's coming out later this year, and it's like the creatives in the movie division are like actively fighting against the CEO and the finance division. It's like on one hand, the movies that they're making are doing really well, but they're also canceling all these movies, and so it's like this company at war with itself. Uh, and you can see that in the games as well. Hey, we made a single player game that was the biggest hit of last year, but we're going to double down on the thing that didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think is really interesting, all of these successes that they've had, like movie wise and even game wise, all of these are things that were greenlit under the previous leadership. So nothing that has been greenlit under David Zaslav has actually come out yet. There's a crime movie with Al Pacino coming out later this year that will be the first thing greenlit under his leadership. And
Interesting.
it will be interesting to see what happens to Warner Brothers from this winter onward, because that will be the true test of Zaslav's, what is the company he wants to run. Because right now it feels like previous leadership and current leadership are kind of butting heads. And past leadership is bringing in a lot of money, and current leadership is doubling down on the things that failed.
I figured it out.
What?
Why she's hitting the potty bell and walking to the car.
Okay.
And this dog is fucking smarter than I thought. Remember I said Buddy was lying in the sun because the dog bed that's normally there
Mm-hmm.
is in the car.
Oh, she wants to bring the bed out?
She knows the dog bed's in the car. She wants me to bring it inside.
Oh.
Now she's wandering. Now she's walking back over.
Do you want to get the
Yeah,
dog bed?
I'm going to go
Get
get
the
the
dog
dog
bed and
bed.
just satisfy her?
Yeah, I'm going to go get the dog bed and put it in the sun where she wants it. In fact, she's already perked up. She's like, dog bed? Yeah, no, she knows exactly what I'm saying. That's what she wants. Okay. I'll be right back.
Okay. I will
go on to your next story.
Yeah. Let's see. What's a good one? This. So last year there was a remake of System Shock 2. Classic proto BioShock game. And it got pretty good reviews. But it was PC only. Thankfully, it's now going to come out to consoles May 21st, which is not that far away. But one of the things I'm really curious about is how they would adapt it to consoles, because it's a remake of a game from the 90s that was, famously a very dense keyboard and mouse game. It's the kind of dense, mechanically and controller dense game in which you could stand, you could kneel, you could get on the ground, and all those were like different buttons that you would press on the keyboard. So there's a ton of inputs in that game. And I'm going to be very interested to see how they adapt that to a console. I think it's absolutely doable. There's enough buttons on the console, and they're certainly all context sensitive. But hey, I'm actually looking forward to this because I heard enough good things about it. The Remap crew played a lot of it and enjoyed it, and I think it'd be interesting to play like the game that not inspired BioShock, but like the game that was the original BioShock. Yeah. System Shock 2 is coming to consoles.
Nice. Which consoles?
All of them.
Oh, nice.
Xbox, and PlayStation.
Yeah, that's a blast from the past, System Shock.
Yeah, it's the remake, so it's like the newer version that got really good reviews for PC.
Nice.
Mm.
All right, my first item is.
Is she happy now?
No, she's just pacing and panting. That has me super concerned. Now she's going over to the front window. Something's not right. Well, I'll keep going. Activision and unions. Remember, the only people that didn't lose their jobs after the big culling, after the purge, were members of Raven QA because they were all union. And then what was it? Some other one, something Hog, something other QA group decided to unionize. Well, guess what else? More Activision people, QA people, have unionized. Communication Workers of America announced a couple of weeks ago that Microsoft has voluntarily recognized union for workers at Activision Central.
Good. They said they would during the whole acquisition attempt to get it passed, so at least they're staying true to that word.
Right. So this is Activision Central. It's not one of the other studios like Raven.
Yeah.
It's actually Activision's in-house QA testers. So that's about 600 employees in California, Texas, and Minnesota. And they're going to be represented by the CWA, which is the largest group of union represented workers in the U.S. gaming industry right now. So it's a heavy hitter. It's not like a small union. It's a big one. So currently, that makes it now officially more than 1,000 Microsoft employees in this union. The other ones previously organized were ZeniMax, Blizzard, Albany, and Raven. So CWA President Claude Cummins Jr. said, Microsoft continues to keep its commitment to let workers decide for themselves whether they want a union. Time and again, other big companies in the industry have made the decision to undermine and attack their own employees when they join together to form a union. Microsoft's choice will strengthen its corporate culture and ability to serve its customers and should serve as a model for the industry. So, in the Activision Blizzard shit show, there was no shit.
It was just a show.
It was just the show. And then I'll catch up with another one for you. More of shit, less show. A new studio, game developer, AAA game developer, Deviation Games, has decided it's going to close. So it was formed only in 2020. So it's like less than 3 years old. It was formed by Jason Blundell and Dave Anthony, who were two independent game developers who were best known for Call of Duty Black Ops. By 2021, it had more than 100 employees, so it grew very rapidly. And the studio signed a deal with PlayStation to create an original IP for PlayStation. Back then, Dave Anthony, one of the founders, said about the deal, quote, "It's absolutely mind-blowing for us. We've never been in a situation like this before, where we've got everything we could possibly ask for. From day one of the studio, we've had complete financial security for years to come." Well, not so much.
So they didn't even get a game out.
No, they didn't even get a game out. Within a year, Blundell, the other guy that didn't say that, left the company. Blundell left it in 2022. And then in 2021, they had 100 developers. They founded in 2020. In 2021, they had more than 100 employees. In 2022, one of the founders left. And then in May of 2023, the company already had a significant round of layoffs.
Ah, that's not good.
So by early 2024, gone. So much for, what was it? Financial security for years to come. The announcement was the chief HR and operations officer, Christy Stull, announced in LinkedIn, quote, "It's with a heavy heart that we announce the closure of Deviation Games. I want to express my deepest gratitude for our entire team. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication and contributions to Deviation. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to have worked with each and every one of you." So that didn't last. 2020, I mean, it's a bad time to start a game company. 2020 was a great time to be a game company. It was a terrible time to start a game company because 2020 was when we all started playing games. But
there's a lot of investment money going around.
Yeah.
But
and 2020 is when the overhead was the highest. When costs were the highest, that's when the overhead was the highest to the startup.
But yeah, a lot of investment money going around that then suddenly dried up when you need to get a product out.
Right. And when the global economy starts to go to shit everywhere, the game development in general starts to go to shit. So yeah, that kind of sucks. You got next item?
Yeah. Speaking of shit shows, there's actually been quite a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
So Payday 3, if you remember, it had a terrible launch. Like, absolutely awful launch.
It really
to
did.
the point where there are now more people playing Payday 2 than Payday 3. I believe that, let's see, according to Steam database, there's a less than average of 400 people playing Payday 3, but 25,000 on average playing Payday 2.
Mm-hmm.
It got to the point, it got so bad that the board of directors has forced out the CEO because they just say, we need a leadership change.
Wow. That is not good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, it failed to meet sales expectations in March 12th.
That's actually
on their website
a really good thing. And that should happen more often, is that when mistakes are
for
made,
leadership to have consequences for an absolute disaster.
There's no forgiveness without atonement. Just saying. Yeah, I think that should happen a lot more in the industry. As much as it's sad that it happened, yeah, it should happen more, and it should happen to bigger companies. Did it say anything about a golden parachute? Because I guarantee there's probably something involved there.
I don't think it just says that he's been removed. He's no longer part of the company. The former Focus Home Interactive CEO, who's part of the board of directors, is the interim CEO while they look for someone to take the role permanently. Yeah, nothing about a golden parachute. Just like, hey, their full-on statement is Starbreeze has a clear strategy centering around creating attractive games on our own and licensed IPs. The board's consolidated assessment is that the execution of strategy needs a different leadership.
I can hear you. I just want to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, something's not right. She's wandering and now she's panting. Mia? Hey, Wonder Dog, what's up?
Was she the one that had an issue earlier, or was that Buddy?
That's Buddy.
Oh.
All right, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna see if I can do something over there that makes her happy. Stand by.
Okay. I will get into another disaster then. Star Wars Battlefront Collection. This was a remake of the aughts, the early, I think it was maybe the 2010s Battlefront. The full name was Battlefront Classic Collection. This is not the EA published Battlefront games. These are the ones that inspired the EA Battlefront games. So this Classic Collection comes out, and like any multiplayer, and the server issues, which is kind of typical of any multiplayer game. But the behind the scenes talk was that it launched with only 3 servers, which is there's a Helldiver situation in which a game is an unexpected hit and the servers get to capacity. That's understandable. Like no one expected Helldivers 2 to break out, so it's understandable that they had server issues.
Right.
The Battlefront Classic Collection, a multiplayer only game, launched with 3 servers active, which just feels like cheap. That they knew there would be issues.
3 servers?
3 servers. There's not a 0. There's just a single digit. But in addition to just having server issues, the collection was also just not even bare bones. It was missing features and content that were in the original games. There were Battlefront 2 cutscenes that were interesting, that were missing. You can invert flight controls. There were audio issues and lighting issues. So not only was this barer than bare bones re-release collection, but it was a barer than bare bones collection that didn't even work. And so, yeah, unfortunately, this is coming from Asper, which I believe was also the developer who was working on the Knights of the Old Republic remake that was famously had terrible disasters. Let me see if that was them. Because I think the KOTOR remake has since been passed off to someone else. No, Asper didn't work on the remake for KOTOR. They released the re-release of KOTOR and KOTOR 2 on the Switch, which famously, their release of KOTOR 2 on the Switch had a bug that prevented people from getting to the end of the game, and they never patched it. It was never patched and never fixed. Instead, they're just like, okay, we'll give you another game has a make good. So Asper has not had...
Is it ASPYR? Aspire?
ASPYR. Aspire, that's what it is.
Aspire, yeah. Or as I used to call it, Aspire. They were the ones that would always do the coding for LucasArts games to be converted from PC to Mac back in the day when LucasArts had, like, Monkey Island and all those other ones. Yeah, they were all they were the ones that would release the Mac version of it. Was done by I always call it Aspire.
Were they awful back then too?
No, they were great. They did what they were supposed to do. They would release, whoever the developer was would release it on PC, and then they'd hand it to Aspire, and Aspire a couple, like 6 months later would release it for Mac, and it would be fine.
Well, now Aspire games are just ass.
Well, I think Aspire games should stay with what they were doing. They should have just focused on doing what they did well and stay with it. Is just recoding PC games to Mac.
I don't think there's enough budget in that. I also think they're owned by Embracer now, and so they probably got...
yeah, they are. They're made by Embracer. So it probably had something to do with Embracer leaning on them to make stuff.
Yeah.
Because what has Aspire done since then? Has it done any
Well,
games?
they did the KOTOR remake, which was a bit of a bomb. They did the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, which is now a bit of a bomb.
They did Civ 5 Leader Pass, Tomb Raider Remastered 1, 2, 3.
Okay, those actually got pretty good reviews.
Star Wars Force Unleashed for the Switch. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 for PC. What is that?
Yeah, the Switch one of those was the bad one.
Yeah, and Myth Force for PC, Switch, Xbox.
I haven't heard anything about that. Yeah, so Battlefront Classic Collection, awful. Tomb Raider Remastered Collection, okay. KOTOR remake, awful. Force Unleashed re-release, I think pretty good. They also did a Republic Commando
Well, see,
release,
they did the
Stubbs the Zombie
KOTOR. They
release.
did KOTOR for both iOS and Switch, according to them. Force Unleashed for Switch, Knights of the Old Republic for everything.
They're a port company. They're
Knights of
porting.
the Old Republic 2, Sith Lords.
Yeah, they did both. Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. They're a port company. They're porting various games. And unfortunately, it seems like some of their bigger profile ones, especially related to Star Wars, have been really, really not good.
Which is funny because they were always the ones that would do Lucas games. I know Lucas did Knights of the Old Republic, the original, right?
I think that was LucasArts. Yeah.
Yeah. So
no, it was BioWare, but I think it was published by LucasArts.
Yeah.
I don't think it was published by EA. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
In the chat room, who was the developer
published
and / publisher?
BioWare developed it. Who was the publisher?
AC Ray, stop spoilering my stuff. You have to trust that
publisher. Oh, it was LucasArts and Electronic Arts.
Yeah, it was LucasArts was the developer. That's what I thought.
Yes.
And then I'm sure that they did the original Mac. If it was a port to Mac, then Aspire did the port. Back, when God wore short pants.
Yes. Okay. I'm reading the Wikipedia page.
Okay.
Anyway,
so yeah.
Story. You got something?
I do. All right. So my next item is, sir. All right. Since AC Wraith has already started, Saber Interactive. You may or may not be familiar with them. Saber Interactive is a developer that has done a bunch of stuff, but they were most importantly purchased by Embracer Group. Where is it? Saber Interactive. They officially are now, believe it or not, actually went independent. They purchased themselves out of Embracer Group. They found a private investor who had $500 million available. Saber Interactive recently announced that it had sold Embracer, or sold Saber to Saber and the investor for a sum of $247 million. Also, interestingly enough, something that was left out or talked around in the announcement was that some of the key studios that Saber is taking actually seem to be going with Saber for sure. So it's about going to be 3,500 employees. Saber is going to continue to develop on its Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake, which it took over from Aspire in 2022. And this year it's set to release Expeditions, a Mudrunner game, John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Some not small titles.
They're like good solid B games.
Right. Jason Schreier from Bloomberg claims that the publisher's big announcement of the deal was a little misleading. It's cited. I mean, he cited a letter to staff from Saber CEO Matt Karch. Quote: "Saber is actually bringing along 4A games, Metro, Zen Studios, Pinball, through other options." So they're actually taking additional studios beyond what was originally announced.
What I've seen is that originally they said that they sold it for about 250 million.
Yeah.
But with those additional options, that has actually jumped up to 500 million.
Right, where the investor came in with the $500 million.
Yeah.
So Saber and its studios is 247, and those extra options are
Yeah.
going to take it up to that full
So
500,
the
which
total
is
cost of the sale is 500.
Yeah.
Which is funny because in 2020, Embracer bought Saber for 525. So they still lost money, even with $500 million. They still lost just a
well
little
more
bit.
than that because they only got 247 million for Saber. They bought 525, and Saber is taking additional stuff from them in order to make it up to that 500 million.
Yes, but like they are
Oh,
they're still
they're
getting a lot of money.
Yeah, they're still getting a lot of money, but they're significantly in the hole.
Yes.
Embracer is doing everything it possibly can to not just fail.
Which, you know what? At least Saber and all these other studios got off the sinking ship. They
Right.
got in a lifeboat of the Titanic.
Yes, and that's the thing is it's by Embracer not. Well, I don't know. I mean, if they all went under, it would be a bidding war in order to get this stuff. I think that Embracer trying to stay afloat may have actually helped Saber get out, because otherwise it would have gone through a bankruptcy thing, and that would have been very much more difficult because then they would be fighting against everybody else for their own lives, and they could end up with help, heaven forbid, Activision or
I'm
some
curious to
other
see
horrible toxic place.
what happens with Gearbox, who they get sold to, or if they buy themselves, because they're probably worth a lot more.
I would not be surprised if Gearbox decides to, if it can find some investor to buy themselves. That would be the optimal thing, I think, for both Gearbox and consumers.
Yes.
All right. And I got another one I can throw on there. Summer Games Fest is coming because summer is coming.
Yeah, the Key 3.
What was it?
Key 3.
Key 3. Yeah, Key 3. Jeff Keighley.
I saw someone, I think it was IGN, had that as a headline, and I thought that's really good.
Yeah, I think that's going to stick. So Key 3 is officially announced to be June 7th of this year. It's going to be broadcast live from the YouTube Theater in Los Angeles. In-person tickets are available if you feel like going, starting on May 7th. Okay. It's going to be about 2 hours of announcements, guests, trailers, updates, and then, of course, the first look at a number of games that they always have at Summer Games Fest. And then after it's done, then it's going to be the Day of Devs Summer Game Fest edition.
Okay.
And then the following day, the Summer Games Fest Play Days start to kick off. It's an invite-only influencer and media influencer event that runs from June 8th to 10th. So you will start seeing a lot of influencers, aka not us, but a bunch of people who are not us are going to be putting their hands on some of these games and being able to tell you about it. So you'll start seeing some, reports from everywhere else not here.
Hey, AC Wraith also reminded us that we said we would play Toxic Commandos during the first week of release, which I'm still okay with, because
I'm okay with that.
That game looked cool. It was like the John Carpenter's version of Valve's zombie game.
Left 4 Dead?
Left 4 Dead, that's what it is. Yes.
Yeah, I'll totally play that. Do we have a date on it yet? I don't think we do.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we'll totally play that. Thank you for reminding us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next item.
Next item. I'm gonna hang off on that one because I want to queue up the video.
Just tell me what the video is, and I'll queue it up.
No, I'm gonna hold off for now.
Right.
Akira Toriyama, famous creator of Dragon Ball and all of its various spin-offs, passed away at 68. That's a shame, and also relatively young for A, someone from Japan, and B, someone with pretty significant means. Yes, but also I think he's working right up until the end. Like Dragon Ball Z came out, and for a while there was like a gap of stuff, but then Dragon Ball Super came out, and that's like a whole new series that has been ongoing for the past several years. Yeah, he also did a
he's
lot
got-
of work on Dragon's Quest. He was still, I think, doing art for Dragon's Quest for some of the more recent games.
Yeah,
Yeah, working right up until the end, doing what he liked, and
know what he loved to do.
the influence. Like, hey, if it wasn't for him, I never would have known about anime. If it wasn't for those weekly
True.
Dragon Ball episodes on Toonami.
True, absolutely true.
He
He probably
created
single-handedly if you were to name one person to be responsible for American interest in anime, he's a really good choice.
Dragon Ball Z. Like, without Dragon Ball Z, I don't think you would have an anime industry in America. At least nowhere near the size that it is
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Because that
exactly.
opened the door for everything else to come after it.
Oh, she finally lay down.
Okay, good.
She just was. Nope. Now she's back up again. She was up and she's down and she's on the couch. She's jumping up on the. Now she's looking out the window. That's which is not like her. She's something is very not right. Okay, so let's.
She seems really antsy.
She's really antsy, like she needs to go out. And the thing is, she's been out a bunch of times already.
Does she just really
But she's
want
she's uncomfortable. So I'm gonna hurry through this, and if we could move this along, I want to pay some attention to her. So what's your next item?
I was trying to find this other trailer. So a while ago, there was a trailer for Tekken 8 that came out that had the old guy from Succession. Do you remember his name? The actor,
I see him in my
famous
head.
actor. He was recapping the story of Tekken for Tekken 8,
Brian Cox.
which is insane because to hear him summarize a fighting game story for 8 entries, it's like, and he had the blood curse of the Jin, and his son inherited the blood curse of the Jin, and it's just like, what the fuck how did they get Brian Cox to do this?
You too. I'm looking this up. What was it? Brian Cox. What game was it?
Tekken 8. So I bring this up because there is now a trailer for Dragon's Dogma 2 with Ian McShane.
Down. Taker's down.
Wide.
Let's see. Can I get?
Hold on.
The King of Iron Fist tournament. There's one hell of a story to tell.
Just like skip to the middle to listen to him. Just
Kazuya would defeat Heihachi and become the first King of Iron Fist tournament champion. And then, in a moment of poetic justice, would throw his father off a cliff. Years later, we find Kazuya has turned even more sinister than his father was. But it brings us to the one woman who saw the potential good in Kazuya. Animal rights activist Jun Kazama. Together, they would have a child, the third piece of this patricidal puzzle, Jin Kazama. Jin grew up without knowing his father.
Yeah, this is over the top. It really, really is.
it's so wild.
Anyway,
and-
you were saying.
Yes. Now they have one of. Oh wait.
Sorry. I'm bad. I'm opening it back. Here we go.
In a legendary tale,
Ian McShane describing Dragon's Dogma 2.
The dragon chooses a worthy champion from each generation,
Can you turn it up?
wrenching the beating heart from their chest and forging a being known as the Arisen. This hero, marked by fate and burdened by their lost humanity, must rise from the
better.
trappings of ordinary
Brian
life
Cox just sounded awkward.
and answer the call to take up arms in search of the dragon who stole their art.
I mean, the thing is, like, they're good at it because
I
they're
love
good
this.
narrators, but it's just so weird to see like these famous British actors describing the convoluted nature of these JRPGs and
We need
fighting games.
we need Ian McKellen doing something.
Oh, that would be great.
What would Ian McKellen? What would we want Ian McKellen to describe?
Final Fantasy.
Oh gosh, yes.
I want him to recap Final Fantasy Remake and Final Fantasy Rebirth. Recapping the Final Fantasy VII Remake games. That would be like a 20-minute video.
That's awesome. I like this. This is awesome. And honestly, I think it's a long time coming that we should be able to have that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of the best work. All right, so I'm going to put my two closing items together because they are related to each other. Welcome to the fashion segment. Oops, sorry. What's moving? Why is it moving? Why? Here we go. The fashion segment of the show. GameHounds official. I should have had like some kind of bumper music for, GameHounds fashion. First, if you are a crafty person or some crafty person or, you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend that likes to knit and you're a gamer, this is actually kind of old because this came out right about Christmas time, and I had it as a note, but I never actually talked about it. So I found it in my mail. I'm like, oh, I got to talk about it still because it's still available. If you're a fan of Alan Wake and you want Anderson's sweater, Remedy has released a knitting pattern for the sweater. Let me pull up my notes. So where's my notes? Okay, yeah. So the guide is detailed, and it gives you the charts for each of the patterns that are on the sweater, as well as measurements and different yarn colors. So you can get the full on straight out. Let me see if we can get a video of it.
Yeah, here. I brought up a picture of it.
Pull up a picture of it. So yeah, you can actually knit the exact sweater. And if you want to fully cosplay, which is honestly a very cute sweater, but if you want to fully cosplay that, you can match that with an FBI jacket and it will be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is her in the jacket and the sweater.
Yep, there you go. And so it also, the guide includes all the details you might need, including hairstyle, gun holster, and the FBI jacket. So let me pull it up so that you can see it. Here we go. And now I got to go back to you. And there it is. There is the knitting pattern guide for the sweater. Accept all. Yeah. And it full on gives you the whole detail of how to do the guide.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's a really good, just, I don't know, little thing. Yeah.
And enjoying the moment of the popularity of Alan Wake.
Yeah.
And also, the Alan Wake comes out of Finland. And Finland is absolutely known for their knitting. It is one of the big pastimes in Finland, in the country itself, as well as other Nordic countries. I mean, we have talked about my famous lopapesa, which is not that different. That sweater actually looks like a lopapesa, which is Icelandic.
So much of that game feels like a love letter to Finland, even though it supposedly takes place in the Pacific Northwest. It's like you could tell, no, this may as well be Finland.
Yeah,
like the way people talk, the culture of everything. It's one of the fun things about the game is that it feels weirdly like out of place in time.
Right. And the other thing that is fashion related is the Oscars were last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of a monumental Oscar. A lot of things happened that were firsts ever, but one of the firsts that happened was that a Godzilla movie won an Oscar. Godzilla.
I'm so upset.
Yeah.
I think it's Warner Brothers, Legendary. They have absolutely missed a perfect chance. Godzilla X Kong comes out like in a couple weeks. They need to make a new trailer that says with Oscar winner Godzilla.
Yeah.
How have they not done that yet?
I don't know. But Godzilla Minus One did win an Oscar for Best Visual Effects, which it
Mhm.
should have. If you haven't seen Godzilla Minus One, it is such a good movie. But the team that was at the Oscars wore shoes that were specially made for them by a Japanese designer. And I will add this. They were all given a pair of these shoes that were shoes with the heel being a Godzilla claw.
Mhm.
And
I didn't notice this, but like seeing these pictures after the fact, they're pretty cool.
oh, they're very cool shoes. Yeah, and they had multiple different styles of these Godzilla shoes.
That's a good picture.
Yeah, that was the Godzilla. It's got the Godzilla tail backbone thing.
Mhm.
And yeah, this one was a red one. So they were all made and given these, and the designer of them is a guy named Matsuri Ryosuke, and they are known for making really kind of cool shoes. The response when people saw these shoes at the Oscars was nearly immediate. And as you can see from this Twitter post that the designer put out, he said, we often see questions about where these Godzilla shoes are made and where they are sold. About that, these shoes were produced by our brand. There may still be sales opportunities. If you would like, could you spread this information? So yes, they are very much considering releasing these as a special, like collector's edition of their shoes, which means they're probably going to be alarmingly expensive. And let me see if I can pull up their actual store. Let me go back to where I need to be to show you the store. All right, here is their actual store. They're known for making really cool shoes that
Oh,
have these like heels that are, super interesting, like
interesting. So
hands
that's the Godzilla ones are perfectly in line with
with their
their existing like aesthetic and design.
exactly.
Huh.
Yeah, and I mean their shoes are super cool. And I mean seriously, who does not want a pair of two-tone loafers that look like that?
You could
Look
kill a
at
man
those
with
things.
those.
Look at that. Look at those things. Are those not amazing? Yeah, another one would be the hands. Actually, I like the black and white ones better. So yeah, this is very much in their aesthetic. And they're expensive. They run about their normal stock runs
Yeah, what's 71,000 yen?
about $550, which is expensive for a pair of
Yeah.
shoes, but not prohibitively expensive. They're not Jimmy Choo, like $2,000, $3,000 for a pair of shoes, but they're still,
What's the Ready for Battle? Yeah. Oh, it's like a mimic.
no, it looks
it's like vampire teeth.
teeth or wolf teeth. That's what they are.
Mm.
Wolf teeth, canine teeth. Those are so cool. Look at those. Oh man, those are awesome. Yeah, they also have some other stuff, but really they're kind of their signature are the heels. Yeah, I mean, come on, who wouldn't want a pair of those? Really, seriously, are those not awesome? Awesome. So yeah, they're needless to say, when they put out that tweet about hey, if you're interested, please spread the word. Yeah, that got swamped.
Mhm.
So they have said that they're going to be putting them out. They're going to be a very limited supply, and that if you are interested, you need to follow them on Twitter because they're probably going to announce it on Twitter first. And I don't know if you could see with their shoes. Here, let me give you one that was like a super like these, which as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, I want a pair. You can see they're just sold out. Actually,
Yeah.
it was the red ones. It was those. You can see they sell out. So yeah, the chance of these selling out is very, very high. That being said, I have followed them. And that being said, if I get a pair of those, I will absolutely wear them on a GameHounds podcast. You can bet your ass I will.
You gotta wear them to a work function. Next time you meet the
Ambassador of Japan.
yeah. Next time you meet him, you
We
gotta have one of those shoes.
I had an ambassador of Japan was in our office on Friday, and I absolutely would have worn those if you'd have been there. Absolutely. I would have bought those are the kind of shoes that you buy the shoes and then you get the outfit to fit the shoes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will absolutely be buying those shoes.
Hey, he just announced the foot stream.
I did invent out. Look, I can almost guarantee you that stream would triple our subscription members, which isn't going to take much. But yeah, absolutely, I would have a foot stream for those shoes, no question. It'll probably cost me another $500 to have them brought over from Japan, but. So yeah, there it is. Spread the word on the shoes. If you or anybody you know that is a shoe fanatic and or nerd fanatic and or Godzilla fan wants to show their love for that movie. By the way, that movie is fucking amazing.
The movie's really good. Yeah.
I may actually go again. I may go see it again. I may actually take someone.
Is it still in theaters?
I don't know. Is it? It might.
I know
be.
it's coming out on Blu-ray soon, and they actually said that the Blu-ray would have both versions of the movie, the color version and the black and white, which is cool because usually those are sold separately.
It is still at some AMC movie theaters. I don't know. I can't tell. It may not be in theaters anymore, but I'm so glad I saw that movie. And that says a lot because I don't really like movies. Certainly not in the theater, but I'm so glad. I need to watch Shin Godzilla 2.
Yes, I want to see Shin Godzilla. I've heard good things about that.
If I wear those shoes, I will absolutely dress up and watch Shin Godzilla in those shoes.
That's the Godzilla movie from the guy who did Evangelion.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So is it good?
I've heard it's really good. Yes.
Is it a Godzilla movie or is it not a Godzilla movie? Because Godzilla Minus One is not a Godzilla movie.
It's a Godzilla movie.
Okay.
He's in it.
That's what I loved about Godzilla.
It's a really fucked up Godzilla movie.
You saw Godzilla Minus One, right?
Yes.
Okay. You agree with me? That is not a Godzilla movie.
No, it's absolutely a Godzilla movie.
It is, but it's not about Godzilla. That's not the story. The story is absolutely not about Godzilla at all. Like the original Godzilla movie. It's not about Godzilla. It was about a way bigger statement than monster movie.
Yeah, it does the thing that all monster movies inevitably go through this process of the first movie usually has them they're scary, but they're also a metaphor for something else. But inevitably what happens is the monster gets famous and then it kind of turns into a pop culture icon, right? Like Godzilla vs. Kong coming out later. Godzilla and Kong teaming up to fight someone else. It's Godzilla has a kids icon, has kids.
Right. It's a popcorn throwing. Which is where you go and you scream at the screen.
Yeah, and inevitably that's what happens. And Minus One is kind of let's go back and circle around. Let's bring it full circle to do a monster movie has metaphor for something else again, and kind of
I don't know that
redo
even even Godzilla. That's the thing, is that Godzilla -1, Godzilla was a metaphor, but it wasn't like a metaphor. It wasn't the message of the story. It wasn't the main story. That story was about the guy
Yeah,
and his
Godzilla
story.
Godzilla was
a
like a
very
metaphor for war
Right,
in
was a
general.
metaphor for war, and he was the protagonist.
Yes. Yeah, it was a metaphor for like
And the guy was the
a,
metaphor for Japan.
a strong conflict.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the guy was a
Any big
metaphor for
conflict.
humanity in Japan specifically, but humanity in general. And that's what I loved about it. It was because it was his story. It wasn't Godzilla's story. It's like saying that Old Man in the Sea it's not about the fish. It's about the
Yeah.
old man in the sea. And that's what Godzilla
It's about the
-1 is.
struggle.
It's about the struggle.
Yeah, AC Wraith says that Shin Godzilla makes Godzilla an even greater threat. What I've heard about that movie is all about the failure of the administrative state in Japan. Basically, it's a disaster movie that's about Shin Godzilla is Godzilla has Chernobyl.
Interesting. Yeah, and that's the
Also,
other thing about that was another theme that was hit in Godzilla -1 was the resiliency, the treatment of veterans, and the resiliency and the brotherhood of veterans that surpasses that is stronger than the ineptitude of the commanders and the administration that took them to war in the first place. There's so much about that movie to love. And the effects when he loses his wife, that effects of it's just fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. If that scene alone was worth it for effects. So it absolutely deserved that Oscar.
Going back a bit, AC Wraith has, in terms of like British actors recapping Japanese games, AC Wraith he takes the crown. We need someone to recap Kingdom Hearts. Because as he says, nobody seems to be able to explain that without charts and graphs. So, yeah, kudos.
I want Emma Stone to recap Kingdom Hearts. I absolutely, or Jack Black, but I think Emma Stone would be much better.
No, we need someone with a voice that like oozes gravitas.
You know who's the one that does Crunk? The comedian who does Crunk on
I don't want a comedian.
She's amazing.
The director. Thor Ragnarok. Wakati Taika was something. Watiki? Taika, oh my god.
I have no idea. I'm not going to help you on this because you're wrong.
Oh.
Diane Morgan. That's who should. Diane Morgan.
Crunk.
Huh?
Crunk?
Yes. Diana
Crunk?
Morgan recapping Kingdom Hearts would be
Who's
fucking
Crunk?
hilarious.
Who is Crunk?
Kunk on Earth.
Oh, Kunk on. I thought you were talking about a character
Philomena
from
Kunk.
Thor Ragnarok.
No, Philomena Kunk.
Taika Waititi, yeah.
Yeah, no, she should. If you're not familiar with her, let me pull her up so that you can see.
I've not seen Kunk on Earth, but I've seen a trailer and it's pretty
so fucking funny.
You're actually right. She would be good because she has gravitas for things that are completely wrong.
Exactly.
So yeah, she would actually be a pretty good choice.
Let's see if we can pull her up a little bit so that you can get a sense of who she is.
And its people are asking questions. Now we've got our country back. What actually is it?
Although you know what, we need it to be someone who's a very serious actor who takes everything incredibly serious.
She acts very serious.
Oh no, but I want an actual serious.
Britain, before Europe, before the world, even before the universe. Nobody can say when it was, because it was also before clocks and words. It was a time when nothing existed, empty, without motion or energy or light or hope, just like Plymouth today. Just imagine something like this orange, and then imagine it's not there. Then do that one by one with everything that exists until there's nothing at all. That's what Britain was like until the Big Bang. The Big Bang created the universe in one mad explosion that was probably deafening, although luckily ears didn't exist yet. Computers think it looked like this, although eyes also didn't exist back then either, so we can't be sure. And it was so long ago now, it's probably best not to keep dredging it up.
See what I mean? She would be perfect for something like Kingdom Hearts because she could give it the gravitas, but also enough of a tongue-in-cheek in it that it hits that perfect absurdist line.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diane Morgan.
Okay. I have one more
By the way,
story.
everybody should watch Kunk on Earth.
The trailer was
Absolutely
fun.
hilarious. It just takes the piss out of all of those docuseries. Like Sir Richard Attenborough just takes the piss out of all of them. Carl Sagan, all of them.
I like those documentaries, though.
I know, and if you like them, this is just another way to love them.
Anyways, there are rumors that the PS5 Pro. Oh, wait. Let me edit that for just a second.
I am not seeing a dog moving around, so either she is sleeping or dead. At this point.
I assume the former.
I'm assuming the former, but I don't want to get up and look because if I wake her up, then we'll just start this whole thing all over again. But she was clearly very uncomfortable. That was the pacing and panting and pacing and panting is a sign of a dog that is in pain of some kind, like stomach or like something's bothering, something hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Is that pacing and wandering and jumping up and moving and not lying down, then getting up, and then the whole time. That's a dog in pain. So she was definitely hurting.
Do you want to take her to a vet?
No, we have already spent $2,000. You're only one. In fact, I told her you get sick this month, dog. You're sorry.
Aww.
You're on your own. I've already spent $2,000 this month on one dog. This dog, she's fine. The other dog just lay down and was like wouldn't stand. So this is just. She probably ate some grass, upsetting her stomach. Or maybe ate something.
Well, let her puke it out.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll find out tomorrow morning what it was.
I've got one more story.
All right. Wait for it. What?
Just one.
I will never not be fascinated with your sneezes.
You build it up too much, which then makes me laugh, which then cuts it.
I know. That's why I do it. Because I know that it's not. I know that it's making you sneeze less, which is painful.
No, it's not painful. It's just like
a teaser sneeze that won't go.
Wait.
That wants to sneeze and it can't.
Speaking of waiting, we might not have to wait for the PS5 Pro. There were rumors that it will be out by the end of the year.
Do you want a PS5 Pro?
Not really.
Do you know what's in it?
So that's what the story is about. There are rumors that basically the PS5 Pro will render performance 45% faster with ray tracing speeds 2 to 4 times faster.
At this point, it's so fast. Why do I care?
With a special custom machine learning architecture called the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, which is their custom machine learning upscaler that will replace the anti-aliasing upscaling from AMD or NVIDIA.
Yeah, no, this is also a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, it's Sony,
Word salad.
look,
with an
we
extra
talked
$200
before
after
about
on.
how like Sony wants to get more money, about how the industry's kind of at this turning point because we've like hit the upper limit for big budget games. Like they kind of can't sell anymore. We've hit the peak sales. So if the budgets go any higher, you're just not going to make that up because you
Yeah.
sold to everyone who can.
We've hit critical mass on budgets.
But you know what makes money? Like selling a slightly revised hardware. Makes
Here's
some
the
money.
only
It's a
good, the
it's a
only
thing that looks
thing.
good on a balance sheet for investors.
Yeah, and the only good thing about this PS Pro that I see that benefits me personally as a gamer, actually not me, any of us here, let's face it, we're not all made of money. We all got other things to pay for, like x-rays on dogs. This is where it's only going to benefit us, is that it will likely either drop the price of the PS5, which wouldn't be bad. It probably
I don't think it would though. I think this will just be more expensive.
What it will do is it will put a lot of PS5s on the used market.
That's true.
And more PS5s on the used market is a very good thing because everybody that can afford a PS5 has probably already bought one or very close to it.
Yeah.
And the only people left to appeal to grow your base is the people who can't afford a PS5. And so you throw out this word salad, more expensive machine to get more money out of the people who have the money and are not bright enough to figure out that it's not really worth it.
I mean, look, it's not. I don't want to insult them. I'm sure that it will be like a better console. It will
probably-
run. It will in
On
fact,
paper,
no,
paper,
it will factually run the games better.
possibly.
What that
noticeably
means,
better is different than better.
That yes. Will it be noticeably better? Maybe.
No.
But it will run them better.
It will, right. Somebody is
Digital
going
Foundry
to, somebody's
will
going to make
find a
that argument
difference
to
between the
themselves
games.
and get a new one, and it's going to be a status symbol, and that's great. They will do it, and they will get rid of their old PS5s, and it will increase the amount of PS5s on the used market for the people who can't afford a PS5 to begin with.
This is going to give Digital Foundry
grow the
content
base.
for like the next 6 months of comparing PS5 to PS5 Pro games.
You've grown the base as much as you can of the people who can afford it. Now you got to get it more into the hands of people who can't afford it. What? Who said what? Who said what? I haven't looked.
Be sure to do that motion during the Godzilla Push show.
You got it. You got it. If I get a pair of those shoes, I will absolutely wear those shoes and make that motion just for you. Just for you, AC. And, you know, about 20 other like pervy guys that are watching at the time. No, we're still pacing.
Well, I guess she's up.
I mean, up is not good. I'd rather have her just lie down and sleep, which is what she normally does at this time. She is definitely not okay. Which makes me wonder.
But she's not going to the door.
Not going to the door, but she's definitely like moping and hanging around and, you know, hunched back and yeah, this is a dog just kind of moving around.
But it's interesting that before she really wanted to go to the door. She wanted to go outside. Once you brought the bed in, she stopped doing that.
Yeah, but she's clearly given up on me actually doing what she wants him to do. She's just essentially stopped talking, and now she just realized that she's going to pace around in circles. Into the kennel, out of the kennel, pace around in a circle, lie on the bed, lie down on the bed, get up in the bed, roll around. At least she's not. Yeah, something's not right.
Okay, well, that's all I have. So you can
that's all I got. I got nothing else. So are we gonna play something tonight? I'd like to play Baldur's Gate. I would play Helldivers.
Maybe, I don't know. Like Rachel has had to work all weekend. Kind of want to spend some time with her instead of kicking her out of the living room.
Okay.
Tomorrow?
Sure, I will do that, but on one condition.
Okay.
Before we do that, I don't know if any of you guys can see out there what Nick has behind him. Did you show off your new toy?
I got a bike.
You got a Peloton. So we
I-
both are Peloton owners, and we
I
were
didn't-
both.
Technically, I didn't buy it because they are crazy expensive. I'm renting it.
Oh, you're renting it? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, I bought mine.
because that's way cheaper.
How much is it to rent?
It's like a little less than 100 a month.
Oh, okay. But and
Which-
it comes with the membership?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, that's actually a pretty good deal because the membership's $45 a month.
Yeah. And so yeah, like that's a lot of money to spend on a bike that we're not even sure how much we'll use. Renting it is like, well, when we're done, we'll just send it back and we'll probably pay less overall.
Right, you probably will. Now, I will make you a deal. We will absolutely play tomorrow night on the condition that we ride at least a 20-minute ride together beforehand. 20-minute
Okay.
rides actually you should find it fairly easy. I find it fairly easy, and I'm twice your age.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing like kind of 20-minute rides before with the resistance way up. When I looked at what the 20-minute beginner rides are, the resistance is way lower than what I've usually
Right,
been
you're going to
doing.
be fine. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
do a quick 20-minute ride. It's not going to make you sweat. It's just going to like raise your heart rate a little bit. But we'll ride a 20-minute ride, and then we'll play some Helldivers and or Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so that'll be tomorrow night. What time?
I don't know what time is good for you. I work from home, so it's easier for me to
Oh,
jump
okay.
on.
If you work from home on a Monday night, I will try to get on I believe we have what time is the SF Bay Ferry? Let's see what I should know these off the top of my head, but I never leave work early, so I never I know what times I leave from here to home to work because I regularly, no, it's not a miss. I regularly do miss the ferry for some reason that I had to be here because I need to take a call at 9 o'clock or whatever. There is a 4 o'clock and a 4:30. I will try to get the 4 no later than 4:30. That would put me home at 5 o'clock. So 5:30 is when I get home. So let's say 6 o'clock for the ride, 6:30 for gaming.
That doesn't give me any time to eat, though.
All right.
How about 7:30 for gaming?
7
Give me-
p.m. for the ride, 7:30 for gaming.
7 for ride, 7:30 for game.
7 for ride, 7:30 for gaming.
Okay, I might be able to do that.
Okay.
You're not leaving much time to eat.
You know what? You're going to want to eat after the ride anyway.
That's why I said ride at 6. Then I can
Okay.
eat.
Oh, ride
And-
at 6. Okay,
Yeah.
ride at 6 and then game at 7:30 or 7.
Yeah, that'd be
Good.
good. Yes.
Okay. So game at 6, ride at 7.
Okay.
Or ride at 6, game at 7.
Yeah, other way around.
Okay, yeah. We'll ride at 6, game at 7. Perfect.
Okay.
I would love that. That gives me enough time to like get some food down me and then take a shower.
Okay.
Then I can put a collagen mask on and maybe soak my, like give myself an oil my nails and stuff because I'm a girl and I do that shit.
Yeah, whatever you like.
Yeah. No, it ain't easy keeping this all together. It's not easy looking like this every day. All right. So on that note, let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds. GameHounds 708. Yes, 708. We are just recording this on Monday, March 17th, 2024. I'm Ruby Sellers of the Independent Pillow. Ways to get a hold of us. GameHounds.net is our website. GameHounds@gmail.com is our email. We record this show live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, here on YouTube and Twitch. YouTube. We are GameHounds Vids, VIDS, in videos. Or free to find our shows anytime, any place. But, you know, we do record live on Sunday. Twitch, we are live on Sunday, same time, simulcast. We are the GameHounds on Twitch. We are going to be gaming tomorrow, Monday night. That is going to be at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Please feel free to join us. We're going to do that on Twitch. And yes, we're going to talk shit to each other and make ourselves nuts because we love each other that much. What else? Oh, yes, we are 100% Patreon funded. Everyone who is a Patreon supporter, thank you so much. You really do make a difference. It is because of you that we can actually do the video version of this as opposed to what we used to do, which was just simply an audio version. So thank you for your support. Many of you are just donating $1 a month, and that's all we ask. So thank you for $1 a month. It's like 25 cents a show. It keeps us going. It pays for many of the subscriptions that we need in order to run this show, which are not cheap. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And if you would like to find $1 a month to help support the show, you can find it at patreon.com/GameHounds. Also, we do have a Discord. Our Discord is going to be up on the screen very shortly. Feel free to also join our Discord. That's where we actually talk to each other all the time. And it's not just me and Nick, it's everybody else. And if we ever do like a one-off game where we're gonna like play just to stream it, that's where we're gonna make that announcement. So feel free to join our Discord, feel free to join our Patreon, and if you're watching, please like and subscribe, follow us, whatever you need to do. Once again, thank you to Weeee'reeee, our link bitch, for being our link bitch, providing all the links to everything we talked about in the comments. If you want to find any of those links, just go to the comments on Twitch and on YouTube. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe, be well, and stay out of the sun because, you know, skin cancer's bad. Bye. And for the first time, the damn dog is not getting up when I have said the goodbyes. So, yeah, something definitely wrong. Definitely wrong with that dog.
Okay. Yeah, watch her.
Ain't doing right. Mm-hmm.
Maybe she just wants a lap.
I don't think she wants a lap. She wouldn't be pacing. She would just be pestering me. No, she's got something, which makes me concerned that there's something in this house or around this house, like maybe just outside. Because this is very similar. I didn't see Buddy pacing, but I saw Buddy like down and depressed. So something's going on. Well, we'll see. I'll see you tomorrow, Nick. And if you change your mind, I am going to be around in gaming.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.